The Arkansas General Assembly right now is in a sprint. That's what I can tell you. So there is an attempt to try to wrap up everything in the Arkansas General Assembly by next Thursday. Okay, so the first Thursday in April, and this means that committees are being really just clogged up with pieces of legislation. Legislators want to get a vote, want to attempt to finish everything up. Now, there's a chance that they extend the legislative session if they don't get all of their work done. But we've talked a lot about. I guess I would say protecting our kids and the great legislation. You guys know this, the great legislation that's been out there standing up and protecting our children. But one of the things we haven't talked about is gun rights here in Arkansas. Now, Arkansas has one of the most deregulated, decriminalized statuses in terms of our gun rights. We're a constitutional carry state. You've heard me say this for years. Those of you who've been watching for years, you know this, that we are a constitutional carry state. So there was a House resolution that came across my desk the other day, House Resolution 1041, and it's really interesting. And the reason I love the fact that the House passed this resolution is because in the resolution it talks about grassroots activists. It talks about the grassroots activists who have worked tirelessly over the years to make Arkansas one of the most free states in the entire country when it comes to your Second Amendment right. And so here you see the resolution. This is to recognize the inalienable right. This is by State Representative Matt Duffield. You see that right there. And look at all of the co-sponsors. So State Representative Matt Duffield to recognize the inalienable right to life, property, and defense, and the right to keep and bear arms in Arkansas, and to proclaim the right to keep and bear arms in Arkansas Day. And so it talks about the Arkansas Constitution, the guarantee of citizens of the state of Arkansas to keep and bear arms. And then this is my favorite part. So, whereas citizens' involvement in exercising these rights through grassroots activism has led to Arkansas leading the nation as one of the most gun-friendly states in America, now therefore be it resolved by the House of Representatives of the 94th General Assembly that the House of Representatives recognize the inalienable rights as set out in the Arkansas Constitution and proclaim the right to keep and bear arms day in Arkansas. So this was not just a declaration, for gun rights, but it was also about declaring the right to keep and bear arms day in Arkansas. What a great day. And you know what? This in the backdrop of everything that's gone on, the tragedy in Nashville and the attack on Christianity, the attack on Christians in Nashville, and that's what this is. Just all of this talk about Christians aren't persecuted in America. We're only marginalized. Real Christian persecution happens overseas. Not anymore, it doesn't. Not anymore, it doesn't. And the left, of course, are using this to say that the LGBT community are somehow the victims here is absolutely ridiculous. But there's going to the more Christian red states get victories protecting our kids, we're going to see more of this violence. And so the right to keep and bear arms is important to protect yourself, to protect your family, to protect your property. Matter of fact, State Representative Matt Duffield, who sponsored this resolution, has a YouTube channel, and he made a video about him filing this resolution. And here it is.
The right to keep and bear arms is one of the most sacred and crucial rights guaranteed to American citizens. It is the Second Amendment to the United States Constitution that has kept our glorious country strong and has kept her people free for nearly 250 years. It is this right, ultimately, which protects our God-given rights to life, liberty, the ownership of property, as well as the right to pursuit of our own individual happiness. The Arkansas Constitution of 1874 reinforces and solidifies these inalienable rights. As Arkansans and as Americans, we understand well the words of the English historian Lord Acton when he wrote, "Power tends to corrupt, and absolute power corrupts absolutely." Another word for the phrase absolute power is tyranny. In 1776, it was the tyranny of the crown which the brave colonists of the New World were willing to sacrifice their lives in order to defeat. After the final shot was fired and the armies of King George had been defeated, our forefathers said the horrific concept of tyranny, never again. Enter the Second Amendment. It is in the spirit and love for the protection of the individual rights of the citizens of Arkansas, as well as of the United States of America, that I bring forth to this body today a resolution to recognize, to celebrate, and proclaim Monday, March 27th, 2023, as the right to keep and bear arms day in Arkansas.
Protect the Second Amendment, indeed. That could not have come at a more appropriate time, in my opinion. So hats off to State Representative Matt Duffeld for that resolution, and the entire General Assembly for, protecting our Second Amendment. In other news, I do want to talk about tax cuts for a moment. We do have this. Arkansas Democrat Gazette reporting Mike Wickline, Sanders legislators sign off on tax cut agreement. This is going to be coming down the pike really quickly. As I said at the beginning of the show, this is they are in a sprint to finish. There you see Governor Sarah Sanders alongside Senator Jonathan Dismang, and we have this $100 million proposal is $100 million a year in corporate income tax, totaling about $24 million. So the top individual income tax rate would be cut from 4.9 to 4.7. The state's top corporate income tax rate would go from 5.3 to 5.1, retroactive to January 1st, 2023. This is, in many ways, a continuation of what the General Assembly has been doing. The idea to just completely abolish the income tax quickly in one fell swoop doesn't appear to be something that a lot of people are willing to do, like a Band-Aid, rip it right off. They want to do what the previous governor did, which was just kind of slowly whittle it down. Any tax cut's a good tax cut, though. I mean, at this point, right? I mean, the government has a gargantuan amount of money. And there's also the fear, as we'll hear in a moment, as I sit down and talk to Senator Brian King, that with the banking crises that are going on, the collapse of the U.S. dollar, essentially competing financial systems emerging across the globe that are a direct threat to our, Federal Reserve, fractional reserve, tyrannical banking system, if we're quite honest, that there's tough times ahead, and for everybody. You may be able to buy, prices may come down, and you may be able to buy a luxury car for a steal, but a gallon of milk may cost you $20. Okay, so that's what I was hearing the other day. So something to think about. But again, tax cuts are good. The government has way too much of our money anyway. Just on a general principle, it's insane how much money they have, especially here in the state of Arkansas. So those reforms continue to happen on the economic front.